You'll need a jacket out the door this morning, but it'll be a nice day today. I'm keeping an eye on patchy frost the next couple of mornings, followed by a big warm-up.
Funding for schools. Today, Wake County leaders will get their first look at the superintendent's budget proposal, how it could include cuts.
UNC's future. The Tar Heels have found their new head coach and former NBA champion Michael Malone. A look at his resume as he takes the reins for the men's basketball program.
Good morning, everyone. 6 o'clock is the time. Happy Tuesday, and great to be back with you all after taking a little time off and enjoying spring break. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Levingood. We know you can't hear it, but people at home right now are going, "Welcome back, Renee. It's nice to see you."
So sweet.
That's what I did when you came in today.
You did. I mean, he was sweet.
We're happy to see her in that, right, Chris?
What's
Other
that?
Chris.
Chris is like,
Dramatic pause.
No. Because you said Chris, and I, for some reason, was like, oh, we're talking to Chris Lovingood, but I don't know. We get up way too early, man. Temperature in Clayton at 42. Yes, I'm very happy to see Renee, by the way. Cary's at 45. Garner's at 46. Chapel Hill, 43 degrees. You'll need a jacket out the door this morning. All right, temperatures in the 50s by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. We'll make it into the mid to upper 60s this afternoon. Under a partly to at times mostly cloudy sky. Now, pollen levels come down a little bit. Pine, oak, maple, and birch still the main culprits. But as we go through the next couple of weeks, we'll see the tree pollen come down and the grass pollen start to take over. It's just the way things change as we go through the months. But as we go through the next few days, we need the rain. We're not getting any of it. I'm going to show you why that's the case coming up in a little bit after I apologize to Renee. That's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Chris, happy to see Renee, but our viewers in Nightdale and all points east not happy to see what's happening right now on I-87 near the Smithfield Road area. This is as a result of overnight construction that should be in the clearing phase. It started at 11 o'clock last night because it's a huge traffic alert. The complete I-540 project shutting down parts of the I-87 in the southbound lanes around the Hodge Road area. You can see the huge delays that we just showed you that's causing on I-87. So you've got a couple of options here. You can either get off on Smithfield Road, take the Pool Road exit and get back onto the Beltline, or if you're not caught in that traffic yet, you getting ready to leave the house, just hit a Business 64 or Nightdale Boulevard as an alternate route at this hour. We'll keep monitoring it here in the WRAL Traffic Center, but as far as the other routes, no delays whatsoever, and right now you're looking at a 10-minute delay on I-87, so keep those alternate routes in mind. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, let's go and swing into some developing news as a missing Cary man has been found dead after a crash in Raleigh. And police tell us that man was 48-year-old Linwood Phillips. Look at him right here on your screen. He was a rideshare driver and reported missing last week. Officers say they got a report about an overturned car in the woods yesterday afternoon, and that was on I-40 and Wade Avenue. Well, they believe that car was traveling 70 miles an hour when it went airborne and crashed, and they also believe Phillips died on impact.
Today, we're expecting to get a better picture of how Wake County will fund public schools. Wake County commissioners will have a budget workshop this afternoon. We will be monitoring that for you. Ali Calabar joins us live from the Wake County Justice Center. Ali, this comes as the Wake school system is talking about funding cuts to its budget.
Yeah, we're expecting Superintendent Robert Taylor to present his budget proposal today, and there's been a lot of focus on this budget proposal. There's been protests, school board controversy, and a lot of concern. And because we're talking about $2.2 billion here, that's the Wake County Public School System's budget. Now, nearly all of that goes towards salaries, benefits, and contracts for workers. And last month, Taylor proposed $18 million in cuts to special education. He dropped that proposal after pushback from the school board and the community. The school board told Taylor to come up with other solutions, and we're still expecting to see funding cuts in that new proposal. Those could include people's jobs. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains why Wake County is struggling to make ends meet with its budget this year.
Costs have gotten really complicated in recent years because costs are rising, but enrollment isn't necessarily growing and bringing that new revenue in from the state or federal government.
So Taylor can ask the county for more money. His initial proposal, he was expected to ask $25 million more from the county, and Wake County ultimately decides how much money the school gets. And so we are, of course, keeping eyes on this, staying on top of this on WRAL throughout the day. Reporting live in Raleigh, Allie Cadlebar, WRAL News.
Tonight, the Wake County School Board will vote on asking for a $180 million bond this November, and that bond would fund the 2028-29 school years. WRAL reported this year that the school system expects more than $800 million in costs for those years, mostly for renovations. And county commissioners would ultimately decide whether to put that request before you, the voter. It would require a property tax increase, but it's unclear so far what that would look like. Voters approved a bond for the school system in 2022, and that was for more than $500 million.
This morning, education leaders and policymakers from across the state plan to talk about the biggest issues facing North Carolina schools. The Public School Forum of North Carolina is hosting its annual Eggs and Issues breakfast. Both Democratic and Republican state lawmakers will be speaking. This is happening just days after the state Supreme Court threw out the 32-year-old education lawsuit known as Leandro, which included a plan to increase school funding by billions of dollars and change numerous education policies.
Today, Carytown leaders are asking for your input regarding their town budget, and WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is on that story this morning, live outside Carytown Hall. Kelsey, today's event, this is happening as the town's financial reporting is under review.
Yes, Chris, it does. So today, Cary leaders are asking for your input and your feedback. They're giving people information about their upcoming budget for the fiscal year 2027, and they're also giving folks an inside look about what happens here inside Town Hall. Now, this all comes after town leadership has been under fire over financials. Former town manager Sean Stiegel resigned after questions about overspending a few months ago. And documents indicate Stiegel spent thousands of dollars in 2023 at a 4-star hotel during a conference in Austin, Texas. And records also show that the town brought land near Cary Elementary School totaling more than $1 million. These documents indicate the decision was against the recommendation of the assistant town manager, and every town council member did not know about this transaction. So today's open house is designed to be drop-in style where people can just come and go as they please. It will be from 3 to 7 at the Cary Senior Center. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News. I'm in Cary.
This morning, state lawmakers plan to focus on health care. They're concerned about spending and possible fraud. First, a hearing on rural health care struggles. There will be a focus on efforts to train more nurses and get more doctors practicing in small towns rather than the big cities. We'll have updates throughout the day online at WRAL.com, including this afternoon when the conversation is expected to shift to concerns about Medicaid spending and new autism therapies.
NASA's Artemis II crew is on the way back to Earth after making history. Yesterday, in case you didn't see it, their Orion spacecraft surpassed the previous record for the farthest distance from Earth that humans have ever traveled. And that mark was previously set by Apollo 13 in 1970. Commander Reed Wiseman challenged this generation and the next to make sure this record is not long-lived. Even President Donald Trump had a chance to speak with this team.
We're going all out. We're doing everything we can, and it's headed up by Jared. We'll plant our flag once again, and this time we won't just leave footprints. We'll establish a permanent presence on the moon, and we'll push on to Mars.
And it's talking about human colonization there. And in the next 10 minutes, we're going to tell you why experts at Duke say this historic trip will advance health and technology.
The Michigan Wolverines are NCAA men's college basketball champions. The Wolverines took down the UConn Huskies in last night's title game 69-63. It's the program's first national championship since 1989.
Meanwhile, in Chapel Hill, Renee, a new men's basketball coach will soon be headed to UNC. You see, the school is working toward finalizing a deal with Michael Malone to become the next men's basketball coach. That's according to at least 2 sources for WRAL. Malone was head coach of the NBA's Denver Nuggets for 10 seasons, winning a championship with them, and he will replace Hubert Davis, who was fired after 5 seasons. Back in November, Malone spoke on the Carolina Insider podcast, and he talked about what his program would look like.
Year one is all about changing the culture and creating a new identity. And one of the best ways to change culture is by changing people.
News of this hire comes as the transfer portal opened up on actually today. And you can count on WRAL to stay on top of this story. You can find analysis, including how UNC ultimately came to this decision on the WRAL YouTube channel.
Turning now to the latest developments in the war on Iran. There were early morning airstrikes in Tehran. The Iranian Red Crescent posted this video showing people being rescued from a collapsed building. They say a residential area was targeted by an airstrike. They did not disclose the exact location. This comes as the Israel Defense Forces says it conducted a wave of airstrikes targeting many parts of Iran.
And happening now here in the WRAL Live Center, new information coming in the last 10 minutes. 2 people are now dead after a gunfight that took place outside of an Israeli consulate. This happened in Istanbul. Here is the new information that just came in. The gunfight again erupted outside of a building housing the Israeli consulate in Istanbul. This exchange of gunfire with police left 2 people dead, 2 suspects dead, and the third was captured. 1 officer did sustain some injuries during this clash. The attackers were carrying long-barreled weapons, and the area surrounding the building was quickly sealed off. This investigation remains ongoing as we continue to follow some of the latest conflict that is happening in the Middle East.
And gas prices in our state are climbing, and this is a result of the war in Iran. New numbers from AAA show the cost in Raleigh, $3.95 a gallon on average. In Durham, $3.96, and in Fayetteville, $3.87. But just a reminder, you can always find the cheapest gas prices where you are with the WRAL Fuel Tracker. Just go to our website, WRAL.com, and search the word fuel. Your time is 6:11 this morning. Rapper shot. The performer known as Offset is in the hospital after a shooting in Florida. What we know so far about possible suspects.
Plus, deep space. The Artemis 2 mission is pushing astronauts farther than they've gone in decades. Why experts say this journey could be the key to reaching Mars.
And patchy frost. While we start out cool this morning, I'll show you where we see the chance for frost by this time tomorrow morning and why we make another jump into the 80s by the weekend. All that coming up in a few.
And we do have a look at your winning Powerball numbers right here on your screen. 7, 24, 37, 42, 57. The Powerball is 5 and the Power Play multiplier is 2.
Coming up on 6:15 this morning, Roxborough's at 41 degrees, Raleigh's at 46, Southern Pines 43, Clinton at 47. So a light jacket feels good out the door this morning, and we'll gradually see temperatures rising naturally as they do from morning to afternoon. By midday, temperatures low 60s, highs today about 65 to 67 between about 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. under a partly to at times mostly cloudy sky. As the sky clears out heading into the overnight, we stand the chance for some frost. You see that especially near and to the north of the triangle by first thing tomorrow morning. Aside from that, plenty of days to get out into the garden or maybe just do some watering because we don't have any rain in the forecast anytime soon. I'm going to show you why that's the case and take you beyond the 7-day forecast to see if there's any hope. That's coming up in less than 5 minutes.
Hey, Chris, major traffic alert for all our viewers in Knightdale and all points east. This is what I-87 looks like right now around the Smithfield Road area, and it's because of the overnight construction that we told you about yesterday that's happening on this section of I-87 in the southbound lanes. It should be clearing up because it should be between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. this morning. So right now, the road has reopened, but you can still see the lingering delays. So if you're stuck in this traffic right now, you might want to take the Smithfield Road exit over to Pool Road and then work your way back onto the belt line. If you're not stuck in it, you're just getting ready to head out the door, you might want to take Business 64 or Knightdale Boulevard as an alternate route. I'll keep monitoring it here for you in the WRAL Traffic Center.
Well, this morning, rapper Offset is recovering in a Florida hospital after being shot. Someone shot at him yesterday near a casino in Hollywood, Florida. The 34-year-old is reported to be doing okay, and police are investigating but have detained at least 2 possible suspects. Offset was a member of the rap group Migos alongside rappers Quavo and Takeoff. Takeoff was shot and killed in Houston, and that was back in 2022.
Durham police had to deal with several fake bomb threats yesterday. The first one was at Research Triangle Charter Academy. Police cleared the campus around 11 a.m., hours after the threat was first reported. The building had to be evacuated and students were sent home for the day. The school is back open today. And the Walmart over on Glen School Road in Durham reopened last night after a bomb threat there. Police cleared the store while they investigated. They did not find any evidence of an explosive.
The Artemis II mission is essential to future space exploration, and experts at Duke say that mission is critical to advancing the understanding and advancement of health and technology in space. You see, yesterday the crew underwent a historic lunar flyby, observing parts of the moon never before seen by human eyes. And experts say the trip will help us continue beyond low Earth orbit and eventually reach Mars. The team is more than 252,000 miles away, and this will test how being in deep space affects the human body. A panelist from Duke says Artemis II crew member and NC State grad Christina Cook will provide new insight for researchers.
It's really historic, though, that that a woman is now on this mission. Females perform differently from a cognition standpoint after exposure to space radiation than males.
Testing technology in deep space is also at the top of mind for researchers. The mission is helping advance health and equipment in deep space. And if you didn't know, we have a live stream on our YouTube channel of the Artemis II mission since it launched last week. We're going to go ahead and keep that up until they return safely home on Friday.
In no contest, they absolutely win for best office view, don't you think?
Absolutely. And, you know, there was like something on the feed yesterday of how they were reacting to their own pictures. So it's cool to see them getting a kick out of this.
It's been so fun to follow their journey. It's been an amazing one so far.
Definitely.
Our view, we're going to see a lot more clouds today.
Yeah, a lot more cloud cover, but temperature's still cool. It's still nice and comfortable, despite the fact that it'll be a little gray at times throughout the day today. Clayton's at 42, Fuquay's at 44, so is Cary, Morrisville and Raleigh at 46. So all of us may be needing a jacket at the bus stop first thing this morning. As we head into the afternoon, despite the fact that there's the clouds, temperatures will be in the mid to maybe even upper 60s. May even be a nice sunrise this morning. Reason being is because a lot of those clouds are in the very upper levels of the atmosphere. They have more ice in them, and so that ice actually bends the sunlight. So could be pretty cool out there. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s as we head into the afternoon. Raleigh at 67, Fayetteville at 69 degrees, Lewisburg 66, and South Hill at 64. Reason being is high pressure. Notice the clockwise wind around that coming in out of the northeast. So it's that cool maritime air that moves into North Carolina, leading to cool mornings and comfy afternoons. But as this area of high pressure strengthens, it's going to allow things to warm up as we head into the weekend. But notice how it also acts as like a goalie against any and all rain that we could use over the next 7 days. 7-day rain totals, there you see, it's quite a ways out there. So let's look beyond the next 7 days, heading toward the next 10. And that area of high pressure, stubborn. It just doesn't move, and it keeps us drier than average heading even into parts of next week. So for a state that's dealing with a lot of drought conditions, that's the last thing you want to see. Don't want to fixate on the negative. Let's turn this into a little bit of a positive. It is going to feel great out there over the course of the next few days. Just cold Wednesday and Thursday mornings, highs in the 60s, so a nice reset from the warmth we've had recently. But that does come back as we head into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday afternoons. High temperatures back into the low to mid 80s. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Major traffic alert on I-87 here in Knightdale. This is what you're running into right now, and it's as a result of overnight construction that we told you about yesterday, starting at 11 p.m. last night, ending around 6 o'clock this morning. In the clearing phase right now in this particular area around Hodge Road, but you can still see the lingering delays. And this is all part of the complete NC 540 project. We will keep an eye on it and let you know how much this will continue to affect your morning commute. But right now, as we look at the sensors, you're looking at an 11-minute delay. Got a couple of options. You can get off at Smithfield Road, work your way over to Pool Road and back onto the Beltline, or just take Knightdale Boulevard or Business 64 to avoid I-87 right now. But all the other major routes, US 1 coming in from Capitol, I-40 East coming in from Apex, and US 1 North, all delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Raleigh to the coast. North Carolina by train is seeing higher ridership every year. How leaders are working to expand the service.
Plus, spring savings. If you're looking for a new lawnmower or maybe do some home improvements, Live on Your Side explains the deals that you should look for.
North Carolina transportation officials are developing plans to expand passenger rail statewide. A top priority is a route from Raleigh to Wilmington. The state is working with the federal government on expanding passenger rail service to at least 7 new destinations. This comes as officials say Amtrak ridership is surging.
We found out that 68% of those surveyed that use our service and those that want to use our service really want shorter trip times than more stops.
The Raleigh to Wilmington line could cost about $810 million and run 6 times a day, stopping in Goldsboro. Federal funding could cover most of it, but it could be many years before service begins.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
The final trailer for The Devil Wears Prada 2 and an emotional moment with the Artemis 2 crew.
Oh, right in the feels, that story. We have Ken Smith to talk about that this morning. What's trending?
Yeah, we'll get to that emotional moment in space. But first, let's start with the final trailer for The Devil Wears Prada 2 out now. Almost 20 years later, Miranda, Andy, Emily, and Nigel, played by Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci, return to the fashionable streets of New York City. The film reunites the original cast with director David Frankel.
It also introduces an all-new runway of characters, including Bridgerton star Simone Ashley. The film debuts in theaters on May 1st. Cannot wait.
Yeah, a lot of people are excited. So listen, a lot of people are talking about that emotional moment with the Artemis 2 crew. Everyone is talking about it, really. The 2 moon craters received new names. The one we're focused on is named Carol, after Commander Reed Weissman's late wife, who died in 2020 following a battle with cancer.
You can see them wiping tears. They clearly got emotional. All 4 of them aboard. Commander Weissman blew kisses to his 2 daughters. And one was named Creator's Integrity, as well as the Orion spacecraft. But this was so emotional.
Yeah.
I choked up. I hope they use Carol as the name.
Yeah, tears. Beautiful tribute. Ken, thank you. Budget decisions. Wake County leaders are meeting today to talk about school funding just before a key proposal is revealed. What could change?
Plus, your voice matters. Cary leaders want public input on the town budget as financial concerns come under review. We'll talk about what they're asking from you, the residents.
And you'll need a jacket out the door this morning with temperatures in the 40s. But coming up in the next half hour, we're going to show you which parts of the area stand the chance for some patchy frost out the door tomorrow morning.